Hello, this is Dr. Yum. We are going to learn the union now. Okay, so we learned the buffer and intersect now. This is a union. So now we got employees in the highway and highway buffer, Ohio cities and Ohio county, Ohio census tract, tenure and Cuyahoga County, cities like this. Okay, so now if I zoom in a little bit in here, so as you know, like the same employment data and highway buffer, everything the same as like the intersect. Okay, but we have like the Ohio cities, not the neighborhood name. So cities in Ohio. So let me open attribute table. Okay, this is the county FIPS code, right? So then now GID and this is the city names. Like we got 1,607 cities in the state of Ohio, right? So we got many cities. Here we go. Then now we are going to union the layers, right? So do you remember like the intersect like this? And union, let me open the union. Let's take a look at here. Okay, this is differences between union and intersect. Okay, so every layer will be combined each other. Okay, right? Okay, now I'm going to close Ohio cities and employees and highway and like this. Okay, take a look at here. When we intersect, this one was we cut it off, this part and this part, right? This part and this part, right? We cut them off, right? If I union highway and Cuyahoga County City now, let me try union. Let me show you what happens. Okay, now I'm going to Control Delete and I click and drag on here, union, right click and open. So I'm going to select highway buffer and I'm going to select Cuyahoga County cities. Okay, I'm going to save this in our union geodatabase here, and then I will say union 1 and then click OK and add to display. I'm going to run. So let's see what happens. Okay, so this part now belongs to whole part. So let me check that out, the data here. 0.25 half mile, 0.75 1 miles, right? Then Cuyahoga County cities, GOID and city names, right? And then we are going to open the union. Look at this. So we got all the data from there. But if you look at here, it's 0. What happened? I'm going to ascending. Then take a look at the 0. I want to see 0. What is this? This is this area. Right? These two layers, they touch each other. But this area, they don't touch each other. It's an empty one. So that's why 0 data. Okay? It's 0 data. Like this. Okay? Let me see. What is this? Just like the empty one. Let me ascending here. And this empty one. What is this? Yes, it's like this. This part. Okay, this part doesn't have GOID. And like maybe this part has GOID And some of these parts have GUID, but these things have no GUID. Let me open here. I click like that here. Then now we can see all the outside of Cuyahoga County. Right, like the buffers go over the Cuyahoga County, right? So if you wanna, for example, like if you only want to have this area, you just like the switch like this. Then you select everything within Cuyahoga County, then you can export it. You know, you can do that, right? But this time I'm not going to do that. So now I'm going to turn on every layers, and let me show you one more thing. So I'm going to union here, direct to my model builder screen. Let me open. Then now, this is very easy. I mean, it's simple. You can like the overlay all the layers together, and then the result shape will be combined shapes, right? Then now the questions: can we overlay point data and polygon, or point data and polyline data? If you click this, it does not show you employment and highway. It means you can't union different types. Okay, you cannot union different types, right? So this is obvious. Union usually for the polygon shapefile. Okay, usually for the polygon shapefile. So you can union polygon shapefile 1 or 2 or 3, 4, 5. So the most important thing is you need to remember the output shape of union and how it is different from intersect. Okay, how it is different from the intersect. That's it. That is the union and intersect. These two are the most important. Okay, so let me turn off everything. So these two we cannot use it. So anyway, then I'm going to have these two Ohio cities, the name of cities in the state of Ohio, and then all the census tract like this. Okay, so now I'm going to union these two. Right click and Ohio cities, this one, and tenure. And then I'm going to save this as a union 2. Click OK, and add to display and run. So we have done. So now we can see our output layer has boundary of the city and boundary of census tract as well. Okay, let me open the, like this. Okay, so now we're gonna go here like this. So this data is from census tract, and this data is from the name of a city from Ohio cities, right? So then now I want to see what is this. Have no names? Really? Let me ascending. How many area have no names here? So here we found again the ghost data. Okay, these files. So you can here also like there's some ghost files here, right? So that probably belongs to like the Pennsylvania or somewhere, right? So if you open it, so you can remove the ghost data, right? So we are going to switch like this, right? Then we can export from here. This one will be like the union 2-1 like this. So now this is like the 6,258, 6,258, and this one will be, yep, we removed some of the ghost data. And how about this? Do we have problem with this? So I have no GeoID. I'm going to send in here again, no GeoID. And what is the problem here? So here we go. We also found some ghost data here, like this line. So we are open here. Then I'm going to switch selections, right? Then I'm going to export again. Now, like the union and intersect, those kind of the function helps create some like the problem like this, like create some ghost data. We save this and click this. Yes. Then now we have everything in here. We removed all the ghost data. So everything is good. Right? So now also we need to see like there are some area has no shape area. Like this. We are going to select on here. So now also we can find all those kind of area. Why it is important? Because this kind of like the ghost data also have the data here. So if you aggregate or multiply, and it creates lots of error. So you need to really pay attention to this kind of the problem. Okay. So then now I'm going to switch them and then export it again and click this. This is our final data. We click this. Yes. And then we are going to open it like this. Now we are okay. Okay, first of all, why it creates some ghost data is I'm going to turn off everything. Then I'm going to turn on the cities in Cayuga, Ohio census tract. So let me make it. Okay, so Ohio cities. I'm going to go property and display. And I'm going to make like the 50% transparent. As you can see here, I'm going to make this line hollow and then make the red color and 1. So the red is Ohio census tract boundary. Okay. Then the gray line is the Ohio city boundary. So you can see here, for example, this line. So if I turn off the census tract boundary, so they overlay each other. I mean, they touch each other. Okay, so it creates like the redundant data. Okay, it creates a redundant data. So that's why we can see many ghost data. So maybe this is gonna be like we got rid of all the ghost data here. something like the redundant part. So I think this is the final version, right? Yeah, all this kind of area, like the usually, like the this is the, you know, you need to pay attention to, like, this is kayaga, this is the census tract boundary, and this is, we combine like the two layers. This, like this one, census tract boundary, this is like the actual, like the shape of our land, right? So let me see here, let me add. Okay, so, you know, then now we need to see like that this area divided by two different, let me see here, this part, like this, right? So the reason that I showed you is, when you do union or intersect, you need to pay attention. There are some ghost data created by they touch each other. Then line also they touch each other. Then they will create like the doubled data. So you need to pay attention to those kind of things. Okay. So anyway, the fundamental concept of union is like this. Okay, they will put the data all together. Okay, they will show you every, like the shapes. Okay, so this is a union. Okay, so actually union is quite popular, but we don't use much of the union because it often creates like the wrong data. Okay, but if you really need to use union, you need to really careful. Okay, you need to check that out, your data again. Okay, this is it. Thank you.